Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about metabolism. And before I begin, I would like you to hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. You can also like and share this channel. Alright, so let's begin. So when we talk about metabolism, we are trying to talk about all the chemical reactions that goes on in the body. And metabolism can be broadly classified into two components. We have anabolism and then catabolism. So metabolism is basically about building up and then breaking down, building up something within the body or breaking down something within the body. So the building up aspect of metabolism is what we is known as the anabolism. And then the breaking down of substances within the body or molecules within the body is what is known as what? It's what is known as catabolism. Now, we already have certain molecules called biomolecules in the body. So we have carbohydrates, we have proteins, we have lipids, we have nucleic acid, and etc. Now, if you look at the anabolic pathway or the anabolic process of metabolism, it is when these molecules are formed. So in anabolism, there is formation of carbohydrates, there is formation of proteins, there is formation of lipids, there is formation of what? Of nucleic acids and other molecules, including, let's add glycogen to this part, glycogen. There is also formation of what? Of glycogen. So for instance, when we take protein synthesis and anabolism, we are trying to talk about the formation of what? Protein. And this is also known as what? As translation. So that is the formation of what? Of protein. Then we have glycogenesis. So when you see glycogenesis here, what do you think comes to mind? Glycogen. So glycogenesis, formation of glycogen. So glycogenesis, we have formation of glycogen. Then we have lipogenesis. So lipogenesis tells us what? The formation of lipids. So it tells us it's an anabolic process that involves the formation of what? Of lipids. Then we have gluconeogenesis. So this one we talk about the formation of what? The formation of glucose. Gluconeogenesis. So carbohydrates. Formation of carbohydrates. Gluconeogenesis. Then we have nucleotide synthesis. So that one we can talk about what? The nucleic acids as well. Now, what you have to realize about the anabolism or the anabolic process is that in anabolism there is a utilization of ATP or energy. So we use energy to build up these biomolecules. So that is what anabolism is about. Anabolism is all about formation of a new substance, building up of a new substance, of a new molecule. And that building up requires the use of what? The use of energy or ATP. Now let's talk about catabolism. So catabolism is also another process in metabolism that involves the breaking down of substances, or that involves the breaking down of what? Of molecules. So once again, we are going to list our biomolecules. So we have carbohydrates, we have the carbs, we have the glucose, we have lipids, we have proteins, etc. So in this process, we are breaking down these substances. So when you hear glycolysis or glycolysis, what are we trying to say? Breaking down of glucose. So here we capture the carbohydrates. Remember that carbohydrates or glucose is an example of carbohydrate, or is the basic unit of carbohydrate, because glucose is what? Is monosaccharide. So we have glycolysis. glycolysis, breaking down of glucose. Then we have glycogenolysis. So this glycogenolysis talks about what? Glycogen. So we are breaking down glycogen. That is what it means. Glycogenolysis. We are breaking down what's glycogen. Then we have beta oxidation. Now, another term for beta oxidation, or we can associate beta oxidation with what? Lipolysis, which also means what? Breaking down of fats. So beta oxidation or lipolysis captures the breakdown of what? Of fats. Then we have proteolysis. So this one, proteolysis, definitely self-explanatory, talks about what? The breakdown of what? Of proteins. Then we have other catalytic pathways like the Krebs cycle, the pentose phosphate pathway, and then the electron transport chain. These are other catalytic pathways. Now, in catabolism, what do we seek to achieve? We are seeking to achieve the breakdown of these substances to release energy. So in catabolism, what happens? Energy is released, and the energy is always in the form of what? ATP. In catabolism, what we have to take notice of is that energy is released, and this energy is in the form of what? ATP. Okay, now during metabolism, there are substances that are released. There are molecules that are released that facilitates the process of what? Of metabolism, and also increases the production of what? Of energy, or leads to the production of energy. And these are the molecules we have. We have ATP, which is also known as the adenosine triphosphate. We have the flavin adenine dinucleotide, the reduced form. Then we have the acetyl-CoA. Then we have the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, the reduced form. Then we have the raw nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Now, if you could see, I've labeled them with alphabets. So the E here represents what? Energy generation. So this key molecule that is produced in metabolism, which is ATP, is mainly responsible for what? For energy generation. It's mainly responsible for what? For energy generation. Then we have the flavin adenine dinucleotide, that's the reduced form. The ED represents electron donor. So this particular molecule is responsible for the donation of what? Electron in the metabolic process, or in metabolism. Then we have the acetyl-CoA. The acetyl-CoA here is a linker. So this acetyl-CoA links one metabolic pathway to another metabolic pathway in that order. So acetyl-CoA plays an important role in metabolism. Then we have the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, the reduced form. The reduced form too is an electron donor. Now, this nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide is the main electron donor compared to this one. So this one is just like the boss, and this is just like an assistant. Then we have the NAD+. So this one is an electron acceptor. So this molecule accepts electron during what? During metabolism. So basically, that is what metabolism is about. So what you have to take notice of is that when you look at the anabolism, you realize that it's always the formation of new substance. So mostly it ends with the suffix genesis, which means what? Formation. Then if you look at the catabolism, you see lysis, which means what? Breakdown. So here you could see we have glycogenesis, lipogenesis, gluconeogenesis, synthesis. So we realize that those suffixes tells us what? That it is what? Anabolism. Then if you look at the catabolism, you realize the lysis, glycolysis, glycogenolysis, lipolysis, proteolysis. So those ones should tell you that they are what? They are catabolism or catabolytic processes. So that is all what metabolism is about. One thing you also have to take notice of is the fact that energy is being used or energy is being released. So anabolism always uses energy. Catabolism always releases energy. Now, in the next video, we are going to pick each of the anabolic pathway, or in future videos, we're going to pick each of the anabolic pathway and the catabolic pathway, and then delve much into it. So we are going to pick protein synthesis, talk about protein synthesis, how proteins are formed, talk about glycogenesis, lipogenesis, gluconeogenesis, nucleotide synthesis, etc. In the catabolic pathway too, we are going to talk about the glycolysis, glycogenolysis, beta oxidation, proteolysis, Krebs cycle, and how these pathways are linked together. That is what metabolism is all about. Now, when you have this particular lecture or this particular introduction in your head, it's going to be very easy for you to learn the complex things, the complex chemical reactions, the complex biochemical systems, etc. This is basically the foundation behind metabolism. Before I end, I would like you to hit on the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel to gain more medical insight. Alright, so see you next time in our future videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye.